online crew. If you hadn't guessed, I've got technical difficulties today. So I've ended up on my phone. So I'm not on my computer. My computer's still rebooting. And I've already been on Zoom calls this morning and everything was fine. But as soon as I tried to hook into this live video, it just wasn't happening. So I've been waiting for my computer to reboot and that wasn't happening. So I've quickly jumped on my phone. So how are you? You got to love technical difficulties, but we're here. So good to see you. Anybody here with me live, please say hello so I can give you a shout out. We've got Beth here. We've got Cherie. We've got Claudette. So thank you for joining me, guys. And if you were wondering where I was, that's what was going on. You got to love technology. That's the truth. But we just sort of make it happen. So always have a backup kind of device when you have technical difficulties. But what we're here to talk about today is how do we stop you getting in your own way? Like, how do we really ditch the fear and ditch the procrastination and, just literally move forward from the things that are holding us back? So that's what I want to have a discussion with you today about. And for those of you that are familiar with me, well, if we haven't met before, my name's Helen Martin and I'm your online career captain. You can No, I won't move my phone. We'll just stay here before the phone drops on me. And I help sort of serious social sellers build online with social media systems. So if you want to build online and leverage the internet to, grow an audience, and what I teach is the ABC of social selling success, which is how to attract an audience, build a brand and influence, and then convert those to team members and customers. If that's what you're looking to do online, then you're in the right place. And that's kind of what I teach here. But at the beginning of every week, I do share with you something to do with personal growth, personal development, something to help you be a better version of yourself, because that's what it's going to take to be successful. All the social media stuff and building influence and content creation and all the skills that you need to learn, that's awesome. But you've got to be the best version of you to be able to build a successful business first. And one of the things that holds us back a lot is fear and procrastination, particularly. Can you relate to that? If you can, put it in the comments. I can relate. You've got fear, lack of self-belief, lack of self-worth. That holds you back, or you just sort of stop yourself in your tracks, or you think a lot about your business, but you're not taking enough action. If that rings true for you at various times, let me know, because I know it does for me even. There's times where I could be more productive and I'm not, because I'm overthinking something, or I'm avoiding doing something because I haven't quite worked out how I want to do something. So I just don't do it at all. We're all human and we all have those flaws. So let's have a bit of a talk about it. Cherie can relate to that. Claudette, I think too hard. I think a lot of people suffer from sort of overthinking, and overthinking causes the procrastination. And then you go days, and the hard part about that is days can turn into weeks, which can turn into months. So let's have a chat about this and some of the things that you need to think about in order to push through that and stop getting in your own way, like really realizing what does it take to move forward. Okay. So for you to progress and move forward and be successful, it takes a few things. So it takes new thought processes. It takes different actions. It takes, new habits, new productivity, taking action when you don't want to, all those kind of things. So it takes different things than maybe what you're doing now to make progress and be successful. I know that should make sense to you. Okay. So we need new thought processes, new actions, new productivity, all of those kind of things. But how do we achieve that? The first thing that comes with any of that is you making a decision. Okay. I know I need to change. You can't do anything. You can't have new thought processes. You can't have new actions. You can't, progress unless you make a decision to change. That's step one. Sometimes it takes, Henry's taken over my captain. I just saw you comment there, Ford. It takes a decision to change for things to change. And you need to decide that. And sometimes it takes enough is enough. Have you ever felt that before? Like, I'm sick of not making progress. I'm sick of not getting any customers. I'm sick of no one joining my team. I'm sick of not putting the content out there. I'm sick of not being productive. Like, enough is enough. I need to make a change. So that is something that comes from you. You have to decide to change, number one. But here's what I want you to really think about as to what it takes. You make the decision to change. You've obviously got to do that first. But for you to have new thought processes, new actions, new productivity, all those kind of things, that takes growth. That is the word that you want to highlight here, growth. The problem that a lot of people have is they look at growth, and this is what I really want you to get from this video. You look at growth as being in the future. But where does growth happen? Let me know in the comments, where does growth need to happen? In what time frame? So I'll let you answer that. Put in the comments, when does growth need to happen? Because what majority of people do is they put growth in future pacing. So even things like, and let's put let's think about your health, even going to the gym, things like that. People will say, oh, when I lose a few kilos and I'm not so embarrassed, I'll go to the gym. When I make more money in my business, then I'll go to the conference. How many of you have said that? Wrong way to look at it. Exactly, for those of you that have put it down, in the present, right now, when I decide, which is right now. Okay, thanks for your answers there. Growth happens now. It doesn't happen tomorrow. It doesn't happen next week. I have people that say all the time, yeah, I'll start my live videos next week. I'll start the diet on Monday. I'll start doing that next Thursday. Do you know what happens by the time next Thursday comes around? You're thinking about something totally different. Growth is now, everybody. So you decide to make a change. That's number one. You've got to decide, okay, enough is enough. I've been on this pattern for far too long. Too many weeks, too many days, too many weeks, too many months. I'm making a decision now. Okay, so what do I need to grow in? And it's not growing next week. It's not growing next month. It's growing right now. What do you need to change and do right now to help you grow? And here's the difference of how somebody thinks that is, somebody successful thinks and somebody who's not successful and stuck. And you're stuck in fear, you're stuck in procrastinating, is how you see growth and when growth needs to happen. So somebody that is growing and is successful, is going on a successful path, will think now when something happens, when they're stuck or fear kicks in, it's going back to those words that I often tell you here. What do I need to learn from this? What do I need to learn from this? Successful people, when they're stopped in their tracks, they're procrastinating, they're stuck in fear, they know they're not doing what they need to do, they're asking themselves that question, where do I need to grow? What do I need to do? What do I need to learn from this? That's what successful people do. Unsuccessful people make things and say things like, okay, I'll start next Monday. I'll start next week. Yeah, I really should do something about that. Yeah, I know I will be successful. I'll do that in the future. I'll start next week. That's future pacing your growth, and that does not work. Growth is in the now. If you're going to make changes, if you're going to be successful, you need to decide today what you're going to do, and you need to step in those shoes today to actually affect change and for you to stop getting in your own way. Because you might, if you future pace growth, so I'll do that next week or I'll start that next month, or like your future pacing when you're going to grow and when you're going to start, by the time that time comes around, you're already back in your own way. So you need to get out of your own way now. You need to ask yourself that question. How do I need to grow? What do I need to do? What do I need to learn now? And when am I going to do it? Now or in the next hour? Or like it might be something like, okay, I'm going to start that next, Monday, but I'm going to plan it out now. I'm going to have to plan this out now to make sure I do it next Monday. Because when next Monday rolls around and I start planning, I'm already in my own way about something else. Do you see how this works? If you want to get out of your own way, you need to do it now. That's what growth is. Growth is in the now. You need to step into the version of yourself that you want to be now. You need to push yourself to do the things that you don't want to do now. Those of you that will say, no, I'll go to that event. When I just had somebody say this to me the other day, we've got a conference coming up soon. Oh, I reckon that's something that I could probably justify or I could do when I'm making more money in my business. You need to step into that growth before you've kind of even earned the right for that growth. You need to put yourselves in those situations. It's like investing in mentorship or going to conferences, those kind of things. You need to put yourself in that situation to actually cause the major growth. And if you come away from those things and you haven't grown, then that's on you. It's not because the opportunity isn't there. It's not because the learning isn't there. It's not because the support isn't there. It's because you're not growing in the moment. You're waiting. What are you waiting for? So there's three main things that are probably stopping you, growing and being the version of yourself that you need to be. One of those is absolutely doubt and fear. So if you are doubtful, if you fear certain things, you'll stop yourself in your tracks. Now, again, unsuccessful people will allow that to happen. Successful people will take that as a lesson and go, what do I need to learn here? Where do I need to grow? What do I need to do? So if you are stuck and you get in your own way regarding self-doubt and fear and lack of belief, that's where you need to grow, but grow now. How do you do that? That is tough because you don't suddenly go from thinking I'm scared or I'm fearful or I know I'm holding myself back to I'm awesome through your positive affirmations. You can't positive affirmation your way to self-belief. You can't just tell yourself you're awesome and you're going to change and you're going to do these things and that's it. If that's all you're doing, it won't work. You have to grow by doing the actions. So one of those actions is things like positive affirmations. It's really important. I'm not saying don't do that. It's really important to fill your brain with positive thoughts at the start of every day, at the end of every day. Like that's one step. But thinking your way to believing in yourself won't work. You've got to take the necessary actions to step into the person that is somebody that believes in themselves. Okay, so there's a lot of things that you need to do and you need to work that out. You need to ask yourself, what do I need to do? How do I need to grow? What are the actions that I need to take to build my belief? You can't just think your way into, overcoming doubt. You have to do the positive affirmations, but you also have to think, what do I need to do? What are the actions that you're going to take to step into building that self-belief of yourself? And the only way you'll do that is do things that scare you and prove to yourself that you can do them. So if you never step into the fear, if you never step into that place of overcoming self-doubt, you will never overcome the self-doubt. You following along? The growth is now. What are you avoiding? So you need to take those actions and step into, building that self-belief. The other thing that might be holding you back with fear and procrastination and getting in your own way is judgment and comparisons. And like if you look at somebody who's a leader in your company and think, they've got it easier than you, or they've got it better than you, or they've just got things that you don't have, then you're going to stay stuck in your tracks. Like, you've got to grow and become the person that they are. So again, what do you need to learn? What do you need to do? Comparisons and judgment will actually keep you stuck in fear and procrastination. Do you know that to be true? Have you felt that before? When you're comparing yourself to people and putting yourself down, I can't do what they do. I can't possibly achieve what they have. Yes, you can. Nobody is any better than anybody else as a human being. People just learn quicker. They grow quicker. They put themselves in positions, and situations where they're stepping into the fear quicker than you are. That's all the difference is. So get rid of judgment and get rid of fear and get rid of comparisons, and tell yourself, I just need to grow more like they have. They've grown faster than I have. They're doing more than I am, because I'm not stepping into the shoes of being that person I know I need to be. It's all growth. To get the power of growth, you need to grow, but you don't grow in the future, grow now. The third thing that might be keeping you really stuck, so fear and lack of self-belief. It might be judgment and comparison. Like, really think of those thoughts. When those thoughts come into your head, you need to analyze them, and you need to dissect them and get over them. The third thing that is probably really keeping you in your own way is you're delaying things. You're delaying your growth. You're delaying taking action. You're delaying the actions that you need to take. You're delaying the thought processes that you need to have. You're just stuck in delay because you're overthinking or you're fearful. The action is today. The growth is today. So what I'm really encouraging you to think about is what it actually takes to get out of your own way. You need to grow in whatever ways you need to grow. I don't know what that is. You know what that is. Is it lack of self-belief? Is it skills? Is it some skills you need to learn? Is it just taking some actions? Is it taking different actions? Is it, new thoughts? Is it like, what do you need to grow in? But work out that first. Firstly, you're making the decision to change. Okay, enough is enough. I need to grow. I know I've got potential and I'm not living that potential at the moment. So make a decision. Then secondly, work out where is it that you need to grow. And then thirdly, what are the steps that you need to grow now? Don't put it off until next week, next month. What is it that you need to do? Do you need to go live? Do you need to create content? Do you need to batch record some reels or some TikToks? Do you need to start introducing some positive affirmations as a starting point? Because the thoughts that you have in your head every day are more negative than positive. Do you need to organize yourself a bit better? You can't think your way to be successful. Words are cheap. Saying things like, I am going to be successful, I am going to get there, and not taking the actions and not working out where you need to grow, you are on a vicious cycle and you are majorly in your own way. So how you get out of your own way is working out, well, one, I'm making a decision to get out of my own way. Two, I know I need to grow and I know I need to grow now. So what is it that I need to do today, tonight, or tomorrow morning? Like, you're talking in the immediate time frame to start a new pattern. So I have people that I mentor all the time and they say, oh, I'll start that next week or I'll start that next month. No, you start today. So it may even just start in the planning stages today, depending on what it is. But for you to grow, like, successful people are growing all the time. They think differently. They do different actions. They put themselves in situations that scare them. They overcome their fear by working through what it is that they need to work through. But they're growing all the time. Are you actually literally growing at the moment, or are you stuck in your own way because your thought processes that are going through your head currently? I just really want you to hear me saying growth is now. It's not tomorrow or the next day, etc. And if you need to work on your self-belief, you are stuck in lack of self-belief and lack of worthiness and whatever, you've got to see what's possible for yourself But, when you do look at other people and you admire them and it's like, I wish I could do what they're doing, or they're so lucky, or it's easy for them. Like, you got to get rid of those thoughts. What you need to do for yourself is work out, how do I need to grow to do what they're doing? What do I need to learn to mirror the actions that they're taking? How do I build my own self-belief? I have to, learn some new skills. Like, you need to work out what you need to grow. If you're not growing through fear and through procrastination, then you, my friend, are going to stay stuck. And that's not a good place to be. No one wants to stay stuck, do they? So the power is in your growth. So make a decision to change. Then work out, how is it that you need to grow? What are the things that you need to go and do to help you grow? That will help you get out of your own way. But you've got to do it today. You can't do it next week or the week after, etc. Growth is now. Growth is not, I've found myself the last few days, I'm stuck on something and I keep thinking about it and over again. But because I'm the type of person that I've learned that, what do I need to learn from this? What do I need to learn from this? It's like, okay, I'm recognizing that I'm stuck in a same thought process because these same thoughts have been around my head for 3 or 4 days, and that's not good enough. So I've brainstormed. That's something I do. I've got to get all the thoughts out of my head and onto a sheet of paper. Then I rework those thoughts into positive thoughts and new affirmations, and most importantly, new actions. So I get out of my stuck state. So I'm always evaluating, where do I need to grow? How do I need to grow? I've got to evaluate this, because I get really frustrated with myself. Can any of you relate? When I'm not having positive thoughts or I'm stuck on something, one of my consequences of that is I get frustrated, and I don't like who I am when I'm frustrated, because guess who I take it out on? I don't know if any of you can relate to this, but usually it's my kids. And that's not intentional. They might frustrate me with something that they've done that is totally unrelated, and I yell at them. And that's my trigger to know you're frustrated with your own stuff, but they're copying it. You got to flip that switch. So I come out of situations that I find myself in really quickly. Maybe you don't have kids, you don't have other people that you live with or whatever. So that's not your trigger that's in your face. That maybe it's something else. Maybe you're on a bad habit and you've gone 7 days of doing something that you don't want to do. You'll continue to do. Then that's your reality check. Okay, I'm stuck. I need to brainstorm. I need to get out of this thought process. I need to change these thoughts around. Where do I need to grow? What do I need to do? My growth is now, not next week. Okay. I know I'm saying this over and over again, but I hope I'm getting the message through. If you can just do something a little bit differently by listening to a video like this, or thinking of how you can speed up, how you can grow quicker, then you'll be able to get out of your own way a little bit quicker. When you're not even aware that you're in your own head, and when you're not even aware that growth is today, and how important that is, or you're not even aware that you haven't even made a decision to change yet, you will not change and you will stay stuck. And I don't want that for you. So I hope something that I've said, and then, this video just makes you think about how important it is to move forward and where growth is in the now. But you're the only one that can make that happen. Okay. Beth, I've had to make a lot of decisions and priorities in the last couple of weeks, and that's what it is. It's priorities, and it's always continuing evaluating. Where do I need to grow? What decisions do I need to make? This is in front of my face right now. I'm stuck. I'm procrastinating. I'm overthinking. I need to move faster. So what decisions do I need to make? Where do I need to grow? Okay, Cherie, I'm definitely stuck. So you got some work to do, Cherie. So don't say you're stuck and stay there. If you say you're stuck and you stay stuck, then you got some growing to do, because that's not a healthy place to be in. But only you can decide, Cherie. So make a decision. Awareness is the first step. If you recognize that you're stuck, good. That's awareness. You can't change things that you're not aware of. But if you are aware that you're stuck, now it's time to decide, And then you need to ask yourself, where do I need to grow? Because I'm not growing, I'm stuck. And only you can answer those questions. Okay. I need to take the action and grow now. Okay. So the trigger there, Cherie, is now, not tomorrow, not next week, not setting your goals and go, I want to do that in a few days' time. You need to decide now and start today, tonight, tomorrow morning. It's now that's important. That's where growth happens. That's my biggest message from this live video. Growth, don't future pace your growth. Make growth now. Okay. I hope that's helpful to some of you to listen to, just to speed up if you are in your own way and you know you need to get out of your own way. I hope this helps in some way. Okay. So yeah, just take that for what it is, grasp it, hang on to it, and do something with it. Don't just listen to videos like this and go, yeah, she's probably right. Actually go and take some action and do something with this information. Okay. Ford, everything you've said is true. I've lived it and am largely out, but must be aware every minute. Never let up. It gets easier. Thank you. And on that note, we'll leave it there, Ford. Thank you for contributing. I'll see you on the next live video. Bye.